So I love Bridgerton. And I told my husband, watch it. You may like it, see what happens. And he watched all of 5 minutes. And he doesn't understand why I love Bridgerton so much. So we're going to have a chat about it. What did you think of Bridgerton?
I can see why you'd like it, but it's not my cup of tea.
Okay, why?
I just because there's quite a few reasons. It's just set in the Victorian times in the past, and the costumes and the I don't know. It's just the I don't know.
Those aren't substantial reasons. No, not at all. You know, it's not based on historical facts.
Yeah, but I prefer like action or thrillers, and this seems to be something which is very romantic. I can see why it has a certain appeal. You know, the costumes, the accents.
But you just listed the costumes as a bad thing. Now you think it's a good thing.
Well, it depends on who's watching it. You know, could look quite interesting. I mean, there's a nice twist, which I personally think is good, with the diversity.
Yes.
So that's interesting. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. There's an Indian person in the 1800s wearing Victorian outfits. Okay, that looks interesting, but it's just frivolous to me. I would prefer watching X-Men '97 or something a bit more interesting. But that's my personal.
And you know what? Opinions vary, and that's life. But this is why I love Bridgerton. So anyone who's watching, let me know why you love Bridgerton. My reasons are I absolutely love the costumes. I think they are brilliant. I really wait for Bridgerton. You know that when I'm watching Bridgerton, nobody gets to disturb me. And I love that it is just pure escapism. I love the diversity of it all. You know, you have people of color in Bridgerton. I mean, even in India, you wouldn't get a lead actress being a darker skin. It's not very common. Often that will happen.
But speaking, just touching on that briefly, with the diversity, some people may say, it's a bit strange, it's not historically accurate. If someone is watching this show, they may think, this really happened, but it's not accurate. What do you think about that?
It's creative license, It's a TV show. It's so binge-worthy. It's something to enjoy. I mean, the music is just out of this world. The locations, the drama of it all is not boring. It's the chemistry between the actors, the storylines. It's based on books, which is wonderful, and just I think it's one of the series which I've waited for the most. Like when season 2 ends, I am just counting down for season 3, and it's because it's like you have a show where it really makes you feel good while watching, and after you've ended it, you're like, I can't wait for more. That kind of feeling, and when you're watching like the fireworks and you see how their families, they have family politics, but then they sort things out, the drama of it all, but in a nice, positive kind of way. Okay. And it's just brilliant. I really think that it's a brilliant TV series.
I think I need to be in the right mood, I think. But like I said, I can see the appeal. Now, has there been another show like this? So if you take out the diversity aspect, has there been another show like this? Is it similar to any other shows that you can remember?
I have never watched a show like this ever before. And I think that's what was so fascinating. When I actually first started watching, I didn't research Bridgerton much. I did not know about the diversity. I know you said take out the diversity, but I didn't know about the diversity. And then I was watching and I was like, what is going on here? Because I had never seen that level of diversity before. Yeah. And I was just blown away by it. And I think that's what is so important, is that they have diversity in it, but it's like, well, this is the norm, this is the norm. And then you start to believe that it's the norm as well.
Yeah, so it's like reimagining.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, the whole thing about in Bridgerton, well, I don't want to give it too much away, but there's a person who's writing about everything that's happening, and then this gets sent to all the people living there, and then the Queen sees it, and then they try to understand who is the person who's actually writing about everybody. And but the way they go about it, the stories and the romance of it all, and it's just well put together, and the actors are brilliant. They do a fantastic job. So it's so enjoyable to watch. You just want to spend like all day watching the entire series, because you don't want it to stop. It's just, as you can tell, I'm really excited about Bridgerton. I'm like really, really excited about it.
Escapism.
It is pure escapism, and it's like that fantasy, and it's just beautiful to watch. It's really, really beautiful to watch. And even with the when they had the Indian woman on screen, those actors, they actually had like their costumes were Indian inspired, and that was a lovely touch, I thought. And they were even speaking like Indian languages in the I keep saying TV series, in the Netflix series, which was also very clever to include that as well. I think she says Didi, which is sister, and then one part she's oiling her sister's hair, which is so common in the Indian culture, and bringing those cultural elements. And I think seeing representation is really, really important. But even with all of that, like just having the combination of great acting, great location, great costumes, great storylines, and having that magical element.
Just need some action, I think.
There is good action sometimes when like they having a sword fight or things of that sort. There is action, but there isn't the kind of action that you are looking for. But I think it's brilliant. Going back to the whole thing about it being unrealistic, that's not the point of it, to be realistic and to be absolutely accurate or anything of the sort. The point of it is to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you look at the Marvel superhero movies,
Why?
that's not realistic. You're not going to get someone climbing the walls like a spider. So that's not realistic. So it's just pure escapism. But on the other hand, it's nice to see that. I mean, if there was like an Indian Spider-Man, I think that would be interesting, because it just has more diversity, and it's understanding that there are different cultures in the world, and it's nice, like you said, to see that, because once upon a time you couldn't see that.
Definitely.
So I think it's nice to reimagine lots of different situations, and I think the next generation growing up that sees this as a norm would go into these professions. I think stereotypically you don't have a lot of Indians or from Indian descent going into acting or the creative arts.
You mean from the UK? etc.?
Yes, yeah, you do have a lot, but I feel that there's not enough, even in things like sport, in football. There isn't a representation there. So I think that if this is just shown more, people see this as something normal, and it's like acceptable to go and follow your passions, follow your interests.
So if you are a fan of Bridgerton, then definitely I feel similar to you, definitely a fan of Bridgerton.
What can you say to get me to watch?
Yeah.
To convince me to watch?
I think he's a hard one to convince. And I look forward to watching Bridgerton. Let me know your thoughts of what you find wonderful about Bridgerton. And thank you for watching, and have a lovely day. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.